This is HaShulchan Yodeh Simon Chavdal Tzif Lam Gimel to Lamed Hey. There's a lot to do today, and it is supplemental day 124 of the HaShulchan Yomi series. Lamed Gimel. Simon outside the Lushim Kumeim friend the Simonim themselves, checking esophagus, are severed from their membranes. Even one simon has been severed from the membrane which connects them to each other, but Savar answered the neck. Have a treva called treva, it's the treva like a treva. Bezel Shom Chasav, I was going to say Simon should not lose Simon that collapsed, Beruban, and the majority are treva. Kumai Rob, Orach Simon, the Davdem Mikumav, in most of the length of the simon has become collapsed from its membranes. Like it says elsewhere, every bosom do dolin concerning limb or flesh which is collapsed. Which means partially severed. The simon is not it's normal. Not like it was supposed to be literally supposed to create it. In other words, like its normal pattern. Even though it's connected to the jaw or to the cheek, who treifa, it's treifa. Being krumei mechubaran karoy, if it's connected to its membrane appropriately, el shemoka machibur balechi, but the place where it's supposed to be connected to the jaw, bisham nispareda to turbas melechi, there the epiglottis is severed from the cheek. Ima piragiyat sofo, if the severance reaches the end, megam rashis miktzah so that some part of the beginning of the simon itself is separated from the lechi. Lechein in a treifa. Granted, it's not treifa. Come a simon nisnan yisnan to b'shas shchita. At the time of the shechit, the simon will deviate. Avava ikasuan, therefore the simon are uprooted. Bracket says here, Bezel the ikuri. This language of ikuri akor shabakmar mashneka the malach itself. It's completely uprooted from the cheek or the jaw end of brackets. Avim rak rova turbas nifram but only the majority of the epiglottis is separated from lechi. The male rush is money idai mechubarin, so that the tops of this are still connected by lechi in the cheek or the jaw, because the tachon in the bottom part kosher is kosher even to be shechted. And that says the brackets there the igum milave simonim. It's cut off above the simanim. Shebegmara, the klama shloikia out of sofa didn't reach the end. End quote. And end brackets. That which the Moshe was given this halacha of uprooted simanim. Zel k'shas shchita nekru cutting our shchita. This is the time of shchita. They're uprooted before the end of shchita. Whether they are uprooted from their membranes, or whether the epiglottis is, I think it's a turbas abeshet. It was moved from the lechi up to its very end. The shat shchita einav kin echa ikor. At the time shchita, it doesn't matter how they're uprooted. The Mechaim yesh nafkina ben kshu treva mamesh when shena royal shchita does a cholab mutter. Oh, fine nafkamina. It's one of those times why we're dealing with something which is treva mechaim, not treva mechaim. Now we finally know. Good point. Okay, valid point. Important point that if it's not treva mechaim, even though it can't be shechted, but the milk is mutter because it's not called treva. But if it's treva mechaim, then the milk is also. But the time shchita it's doomed. See, the treva nevela cannot be shechted properly. Lamed there should be a Rambam Zalazar says ikur kates, that was ikur mean kongon shenekar, such as there the trachea has been uprooted. Cutting by shchita for the end of shchita kalashano. Klomar meaning zeo ikur shneimar Moshe Sinai. This is ikur which is stated in Moshe Sinai. Shenekru b'shai shchita, the uprooted time shchita. V'lo nemar b'zeh. Don't care about this ech nekru, how they're uprooted, by the knife or some other method, prior issue. There's no difference. It's uprooted. And Berches writes, if the lower jaw is missing, such as it has been chopped off until below necru, so themselves have not been dislodged. I raise them with it's permitted. Meaning, Shloiga itself didn't reach the end. So the tops of the simonim are still connected to the jaw. If it's completely kosher. Perekteska, and Perekteski writes, Simonim, Shinidal Ruban, Simon, which should become a collapse in the majority. Treifa, they're Treifla, Machine, Machine, they're severed from the membranes. Even they're still connected to the jaw. Because he writes, they folded. They're still connected properly to the membranes. But on top, the epiglottis has been peeled off of the Shmandia of Teretz Melech had so far Benito and the epiglottis has been peeled off the jaw until its end, and Nikpul Rosh this morning the ends of this morning have been folded out Simonim Matzvam on themselves. Because the Simonim are still connected to their membranes. Nevertheless came the Rosh Simonim Niflu Me'alechi, since the tops of Simonim have become separated from the jaw, and they vibrate. Not so shchita. He writes, in the spark row of turbans, if most of the turbans is messaged, we explain, end quote. So like Perches is supposed to, there's Ram saying like a reference, he's referencing Perches, that's more additional because the Shem Nigma Mamokas case where it's become cut until the place is Simonim. Longish brackets here. All the sugya Amdam Misparish we claim it can be explained frequently. The Gemara asked a question from Simon, which will mostly collapse on the turba on the case of the epiglottis removed from the lechi. Which means to say lama b'sham b'treiva beruba, where in one place is treif only if it's a majority. The kind Baruch Sher and him majority is kosher. But tired to answer it depends if it's folded or dislodged. In other words, what's the comparison? The Menita Lechi, when the jaw is removed, hello Rakil Milamal, it's only appealing from above. Came look, yes, Simonim themselves, but if they collapse, the Simonim themselves have become dislodged from the membranes. Therefore, it's a majority, it's also treifa. You can also fine tune a little bit without amending it. Arukh doesn't want to spend a long time in Viduk. Lamed Hey. Rabbi says Sifra God appears to be Rambam Boifin said. The Rabbi says explains the Rambam in the following way. One which will collapse, they separate from each other. Treifa Mamach is actual treifa. The skapim folded Mikrik Shenekrush name it's about when both of them have been uprooted. Or majority of one of them. Mokim Chiburo from the place it's supposed to be connected at the length of the neck. There's a Ikar Simon Shim Paragim. This is called the Ikar Simonim. The ain't a treifa, it's not treifa, but it's not shchita. If only the majority of the epiglottis becomes severed from the cheek, kosher, still kosher. In the Advar it says, when the Simonim have become dislodged from the membranes of the neck, ain't a treifa, it's not treifa, it's not shchita. Ulveinu treifa mamish, or HaShulchan says, I hold treifa mamish. Chain the Advar it says, if you lose them, he's there. When it's separate from each other, have a treifa mamish, it's actual treifa. Well, these guys say, but the Dvar, according to what we said, does not mention but this could be also the concept of dildo where it collapses. The same way they separate from each other, it's actual treifa. When they separate from the membranes of the neck, ain't no treifa mamish. It's not actually treifa, but it was astonishing. The primary life force of all limbs is when they are connected to the body. It becomes zelazeh, the fact that they're connected to each other, doesn't seem such an impediment. Each has its own usage. The trach is for the tool for breathing, and the esophagus is a tool for digesting. The Dina Vadikenu, grand is the halacha. Nifuduzem is that treifa. They're separate from each other. It's Sheva Shkeviu, Rishem Shem Rach, Zal, Shem Rishem Nei Rabbeinu Chanana. V'kolkom Nema Shomash is that Goram Nifudu Me'atzabar, to say that this is worse than when they're separate from the neck, Vaday Tzorchin. It's certainly not clear. Because of it, from that which he says, the zesh is by the spark, rova turbats, and mostly that because has been severed, me'alechi, kosher, I would spark kulo, but if it's in its entirety it's been severed, han ikas simoni, this is the uprooting simoni, be'en when ushkita, not so ushkita, zeuk shachas simoni, that's when you grab simoni and dislodge them from the jaw. Avachas belach be held onto the jaw, avachas some dislodge the jaw from the simoni. I don't know what difference. I feel cool. It's kosher. If the lower jaw is removed, it's okay. I jump. So by Tamer Abasi, yeah, it's very, very astounding. The Azus says to make what's separate from the other. And the back says that Maldoni Yontav already tightened on the rush. Oh, actually, I don't know what's tightening on, but Maldoni Yontav on the rush. I am Mashkosab Sif Lamches Biadvarab, so I guess Lamches will come back to some explanation of this phenomenon.